I'm back at it.
Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Infinite Repeat. I'm your host Nate. Scream 5 is just around the corner and I wanted to finish giving my full review of the first season of the Scream TV show.
Like scary movies.
What's the point? They're all the same. Some stupid killer stalking some big-breasted girl who can't act, who's always running up the stairs when she should be going out the front door. It's insulting.
There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a scary movie. Number one, you can never have sex. Never, ever, ever, under any circumstances, say, I'll be right back. Because you won't be back. Get another beer, you want one? Yeah, sure.
I'll be right back.
Alright, let's do this again. Scream, the TV series based on the Scream franchise, came out in 2015 and premiered on MTV. The show takes place in the fictional town of Lakewood and does not follow the events of the movies, which honestly is to the show's benefit. This town has a dark past with a serial killer named Brandon James, who may or may not have returned and finished what he started years ago. And our protagonist Emma Duvall has to not only discover the past of the town, but also her past that is tied to the killers. And it's up to her along with her friends and family to find out who the killer is, or find out who among them is the killer. Yeah, you get it. In my first video talking about the first two episodes, I commented on I wasn't too sure about a slasher TV show. For one, I thought the show was taking itself way too serious, but I actually think that's a benefit to the show as it makes it stand out compared to the movies, which did have a lot more comedy in them.
Guys, Nina was murdered in cold blood. Do you not even care?
Why so serious?
I mean, the best part of the Scream movies, or really any whodunit story, is trying to figure out who the killer is. Trying to narrow down who is the killer at the same time the characters are is where I get a lot of the entertainment out of the show. And the show throws a lot of twists and turns. Right when I think I figured out who the killer is, and oh. Oh, they're dead. Well, scratch their name off the list. I did really enjoy seeing the characters actively trying to pursue the killer. At one point, it felt like I was watching a literal Scooby-Doo episode where the characters go into a creepy location where they know they shouldn't be instead of just calling the cops. But unfortunately for them, the killer is always one step ahead of them. And it's really nice to see how smart the killer is. Just like in Scream 4, which came out a couple years before this is more of a modern take. Everyone has cell phones and can text each other now, and the killer is constantly sending messages to our protagonist, sending them on a lot of wild goose chase. However, even though we know our killer is messing with our heroes, we don't really get to see a lot of Ghostface in the show. Which makes sense, you don't really want to overuse him. This season is only 10 episodes, and you don't want to have him killing people every single episode. But because you don't see him a lot, the show kind of relies on subplots that I don't feel like really matter. Like a character getting blackmailed, you find another character had a different name at one point, and they kind of just feel like red herrings. Which works for the mystery aspect of the show, but I'm wondering in the next two seasons, or even on the rewatch, how much will those subplots really matter? And yeah, he kills a few people here and there, and some of them are actually pretty brutal, but others happen off screen. I mean, this is a slasher show, right? And what makes a slasher genre? The killer chasing our heroes while they barely get away, or sometimes not at all. I mean, the show just teases me sometimes. Oh, here we go.
What are you waiting for?
What? And then there's the season finale where we find out who the killer is.
No more masks.
It's me, Austin! Oh, son of a bitch!
And obviously I'm not going to tell you who that is, watch the show for yourself, but for me the final episode was very underwhelming. Not that the reveal didn't make any sense, it did, and I can't wait to rewatch the show just to see all the clues that I missed. It just felt very lackluster after all the build-up we had trying to figure out who the killer was. This is where I wish the show took some cues from the movies, maybe went a little bit more over the top.
Wait to the trial. It is gonna rock!
I mean, you have the killer and the main protagonist fight at the very end, and it's over super quick. A little too quick in my opinion. You might be wondering why I haven't really talked about the cast and characters at all, and that's because I really couldn't care less about most of these guys, whether or not they lived or died. Also, I don't think anyone here is that great of an actor. I mean, they all play their stereotypical roles very well, I guess. Dumb jocks, annoying blonde, the outcast, but no one really stands out besides maybe our protagonist Emma. Maybe I'll feel differently about them going into season 2 and 3. All in all, I really liked this first season, and I do recommend it if you're a fan of Scream or a fan of horror in general. I give this first season 3.5 stabs out of 5. Thanks for watching my review on this first season. I will be reviewing the second and third, and eventually I might check out another horror movie franchise turned TV show. And also expect some gameplay on this channel. And if any of that sounds interesting, maybe consider liking and subscribing to stay tuned. Anyway, this has been Infinite Repeat. I'm Nate, and stay up.